which had managed to force its way into the smoky yard. She wore a cap yanked down tight over her black hair like a man, but her chainmaker's apron, a rough length of hessian tied over her skirts, riddled with scorch marks, was thrust out at the front, her most womanly childbed belly rounded as a heap of slag. John and Clem Hipkiss, 8.5 and 7 years old, also seemed like giants to Lucy. They stood in front of their mother, shirts tucked into their breeches, cut-down waistcoats and caps on newly shorn heads. John was quiet, solemn as usual, Clem grinning like a Cheshire cat. Lucy had known the Hipkiss lads all her life, seen them tearing about the yard, scrambling up the back wall to gaze over all that lay beyond, things she could never do, though she longed to with all her heart. She could play marleys and jackstones and little games with the girls or her baby brother George, but when it came to tip-cat and tag, running and climbing, she was always the one watching in the shadows at the edge. The lads barely spared her a glance on any other day. Lucy, cripple girl, widow's child, had already learned not to expect much from anyone. George, who was 2, toddled over and clung to her, snivelling. They were inseparable most of the time, Lucy his playmate and protector.
"Don't go. Won't come with you."
He banged his head against Lucy's thigh, clinging to her good leg.
"Ow," she said. "That hurts, Georgie." "Pack it in, George. You could go to school."
Ellen Butler, Lucy's mother, scooped the sobbing little lad up onto her bony hip.
"I wish our Albert could take her,"
she said to Bertha Hipkiss, her face tight with anxiety.
"Perhaps I should go with her just this once."
Ellen, a malnourished wisp next to Bertha Hipkiss, looked as though the wind might blow her over. She was also dressed for work at the chain hearth, her thinning brown hair scragged into a bun. Although her once pretty face now looked pinched by endless work, by fretting over every farthing and poor fiddle, there was still a sweetness to her which she had passed on to Lucy. Already exhausted from a day at the hearth, she had sat up late last night to sew the little frock from a dusty blue rag of a skirt, the very best she could manage for her one precious girl. Albert, Lucy's elder brother, was still allowed to go to the foundry school because their father had worked at the foundry. Mum said it was too far for Lucy to walk. She would go to Loamy Town with the Hipkiss lads instead. Lucy was glad of that in one respect. She never liked going anywhere with Albert. He was 5 years older than her, would lug her up resentfully onto his back, yanking her arms over his shoulders until it felt they would pop out of their sockets. He'd not a shred of patience in his nature. But how was she going to keep up with the Hipkiss lads on her crutches? Her belly clenched again with nerves.
"It'll be all right, Ellen," Bertha said. "You go with 'em, Lucy."
She gave her boys a menacing look.
"Yo lads, mind the off-road and mind out for Lucy. Make sure you wait for her, got it?" "Yes, Mum,"
they chorused. No one of sound mind would contradict Bertha Hipkiss, gaffer of the yard, a tanker, a locomotive of a woman. Nor would anyone comment to her face on her being up the stick again at her age, even with a husband as sick as hers was. His only remaining pleasure, the women tittered behind Bertha's back. But there was no spite in it, for everyone sorrowed for poor Jono Hipkiss.
"Go on then, off with you."
She waved a hand over them. Pulling her crutches in close, pressing the worn leather tops up into her armpits, Lucy tucked back her scrawny shoulder blades and tried to stand straight on her one good leg. She was ready. She could do this.
"Bring her back with you, lads."
Ellen Butler's eyes were fixed on Lucy as if she never wanted to let her go.
"You've got to let her out of your sight sometime, Ellen,"
Bertha said, turning away. Lucy's heart was banging fit to match the hammers chinking in the smithy behind her. A sick feeling curdled the sop in her stomach, to which Mum had even...